those 80s away before this pick becomes very relevant.
I feel like it's a fearless pick. I feel like LeBlanc always comes up after you've played the first round of mid laners, and then she's like extraordinarily high priority. It's very interesting. Well, last band going to be that Corki and Sejuani. It feels like it's taken away from Ona, but we know Umpty absolutely loves Bristle and Sejuani.
Now, so you can take Ashe away here, or you could go for a Vi rotation. Now, I think given the Sejuani is already locked in, you don't necessarily need to grab Vi here right now, but with the Corki and the Tristana gone, the nerfs to Taliyah jungle, maybe Vi Taliyah is going to be the mid jungle duo here for T1, but FAKER potentially going back to an old favorite of the Azir will in fact lock in this Maokai flex pick instead first. We've seen this played in the support role already here at EWC. Likely to be the jungle pick. Still so many mid AD picks available. The Jace is still available. That's been one of the ones we played in Korea. The Yone, more commonly.
Yep.
But the Ashe is a really big pick that stands out like a sore thumb to me because we know what Young could do with it. We also saw it dominate yesterday. Gen G, top esports, crushed them with the Ashe Sejuani.
Well, it's going to be FAKER's Azir, of course. Pretty synonymous player and champion combination. We'll see what APA is going to answer it with, because yes, the Tristana and Corki have been taken away, but it's always the Ziggs that your mind wanders to. But it's what the priority is going to be, right? Does APA allow his champion pool to be hit once again? Do they prioritize getting a bottom lane that's going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Gumayusi and Keria? Or do they just lock in Ziggs? And I think to just lock in Ziggs idea is a pretty good one. I'm down with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and very flexible as well in this draft. Could be for Young, could be for APA. Can just try to outrange. Well, this will make it a little bit more clear, as we've seen a lot of Aurelion Sol in North America, and it's been played, you know, sometimes here and there in the LCK. Kled would be very fun.
It would.
But I don't think that's going to be what we do see. It will be, in fact, instead, the Zeri. So we know that Ziggs is going mid lane now. Zeri is going bottom. I don't think Impact is going to be picking this champ up.
Yeah, I was about to say. Apparently, according to Zayas, it's a top laner. And it got a W. So I guess we can't even really say anything bad about it, as FAKER has the last lock-in here for the first round of picks.
For sure.
Yeah, Ezreal looking pretty good.
Now, Ezreal gets locked in here. I think you need to look at the Leona if you are on the side of Team Liquid. Very powerful combo with the Ezreal. You saw the Nautilus as well. Bard feels very Keria specific, but I think Leona is definitely the stronger option here, to be totally honest with you, Alice. If you ban the Leona, though, they just go straight to the Nautilus. You're kind of stuck in this position as Team Liquid.
And I think Team Liquid knew that the Leona was going to be the option here. Renata, a decent option into it, I guess.
I like the Alistar much more, though.
Yeah.
As it's not really full dive here for the side of T1. I think Renata would have gotten a lot more value out of that type of composition. Nautilus also a great option if you're worried about dives coming through. Great to lock down the Ezreal. In terms of lane, I strongly prefer the Alistar. In terms of lane, I really do not prefer the Rakan into this matchup. This is a very risky game that CoreJJ and Yun are playing.
It really is. And now they have to go for a blind pick on Impact's top lane champion. Man, CoreJJ must be feeling extraordinarily confident. Playing Rakan into the Leona is so incredibly difficult. However, there isn't a Taliyah on the map just yet. And we know that Rakan's worst enemy is the lady that throws rocks all over the floor. So thankfully, he doesn't have to deal with that. And I got half of my matchup. Pretty excited about that. The Jack's going to be locked in. Zayas, a lot of different options here. The man has a very large champion pool. We'll see what he's going to be playing, because the Twisted Fate is left up and available, and it's awful into the Jack, so it kind of blocks that out as well.
I wonder if he's going to be happy to play something like a Camille here. I mean, they have a lot of lockdown with that. Jace, also an option I mentioned earlier, very powerful with the Maokai, because the Maokai root sets up one guaranteed empowered shock blast to come through at the acceleration gate. Very, very strong into a matchup like the Jax as well. If played carefully, if played correctly. Similar to Gragas, you can, if you are in hammer form, just knock the Jax away. Play defensively up there. The Maokai is going to have a lot of power in this top jungle duo. On the bottom side of the map, I am very concerned about how Yun and CoreJJ's laning phase is going to go. If it was a Ziggs in the bottom lane with this Rakan, at least you'd have the wave clear to back it up. Azaria, though, going to feel very vulnerable down here. And if you set up a stun, get that Zenith Blade, the empowered Q coming through from Ezreal, hits the W on you. It's almost guaranteed when you have this much damage early too, and the Ezreal can poke out the Rakan. Very tough to play. I think the mid lane, as it kind of has been for Team Liquid so far this tournament, is really the key point here.
Game one of our first semi-final between T1 and TL starts now.
Off we go, Atlas. I love these walkouts. I don't want to call them walkouts because that's usually we refer to players, but the champion walkouts look so cool here. And his first strike on the Ziggs. This is really common because he can generate a ton of gold early with this rune. And one thing to mention about the Ziggs, we talked about how he can kind of poke and harass the Azir and how it can be a good matchup if played well. Umpty can kind of hover there. The Azir also is really good into fairly immobile champions like the Ziggs. Has his satchel charge defensively, of course, but if he gets Emperor's Divided, he will find himself in a lot of trouble. That's why it's really tough to play these types of mages into the Azir.
And what I have learned from like a lot of very one-sided conversations with Daniel Orcs Harrison is that if you use your satchel charge aggressively, you best believe that you have to be completely safe when you do so. And as APA is an absolute master of this champion, I imagine he's not going to be running into too many problems there. As
high-value ward do a ton with it. Push into that health bar. APA now in a bit of trouble as Ace is going to come over here and put the harass onto Impact. Yeah, what happened when Ben TP bot last time.
Yep, you can see a little bit of spare time for the Zeri, but now the engage comes through. Impact does have the counter-strike, has of course skilled that one. As Gumayusi able to come on over, does pick up the turret aggro. They need to try and get this kill. As Guma goes down low, there's the flashes. Zenith Blade doesn't work. Core comes in. That is still first blood going over to Gumayusi, but can he keep himself alive? As Core JJ's got heal, he doesn't have the ignite. Never mind, there's the general. And they even out the scoreline. And now Carrier, I don't know, guys. I think he might be dead. He's kind of on the wrong side of the map, and he's trying to run his way out.
Zeus has to back, does have teleport here. Carrier definitely going to go down. A huge win here for TL. Ultimately, great flash of the Q by Impact. Buys just enough time. Everybody's so low.
I figure it out. And yes, lane swaps are being nerfed. It's not the right way to play the game, but you can hide your bottom lane in this matchup and make things really lopsided, just like this as the buffer comes in from the Arcane Shift, but that means absolutely nothing. Core JJ able to get his way out as Carrier wants to try and get something started.
Look at this,
there are so many minions here. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's just another one for TL.
TPing top as well, not going to lose any of that top farm. Is going to be able to just leave FAKER solo there in the mid lane, but killing Guma, denying his farm here, picking up some additional gold, catches this wave. So it's not all roses here for Team Liquid, but really great for the Zeri. And once that call finishes too, he's going to have so much gold as Umpty may be a bit alone.
Yeah, even the short fuse doing a fair bit of damage here to Ona, who does have mainly damage as the Mega Inferno Bomb comes in to flash forward from the APA, but it doesn't matter. FAKER just sweeps up Umpty, puts him into the Death Chamber, and now T1, they have full control of these grubs.
Yeah, a really tough fight to take there, unfortunately, as Umpty. Yes, you have the Ziggs back up there, but the Emperor's Divide in a choke point like that is going to be basically a guarantee. APA also using his flash means he's going to be more vulnerable once FAKER gets that ultimate cooldown back. Carrier holding down the fort here as the lead continues to grow for the bottom lane.
So much in the early game was behind a whole bunch of camps. I think it was like 5 camps or something like that, and has now evened things out entirely.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage here is not going to amount to anything, but you know, you miss every shot you don't take.
I mean, he still hit 2 people.
True. And a dragon as well.
Yeah.
So he's just helping them with their clear.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, it's worth trying that out. Obviously, you're not going to need that ultimate for anything right now.
Okay, will Impact move up further than he should, as they know Umpty is here as well, as there's the counter-strike. They start this one off. Nature's Grasp comes down. Glacial Prison comes in as well. Impact, the first one to be focused. The Permafrost comes in. Umpty not able to actually finish off the kill as APA. He turns up Mega Inferno Bomb, and that's going to be the kill for the Ziggs. Ona looking to run away. The short fuse. There's the satchel charge, and he closes the distance, and there goes the tree. FAKER 1 versus 3, and even though these health bars are low, I don't know whether he's going to be able to take anything here if TL do decide to turn. And that is a great play from the North American representatives.
Flash and ult, he can't turn the play. They will be able to get these grubs out of this, or at least a majority of them, as they have this choke point once again controlled with the Emperor's Divide. But man, what a lead for Team Liquid so far.
Yeah, it's definitely going well here in this early game. As we move towards mid though, that's when things can get a little bit more dangerous. 4 grubs now collected for T1. I think a big deal for Zeus, who does so much damage on this Jace to turrets. You know, you sort of sit there in gun form, press your W, and you just wipe them out. They might be able to get something done. Unless Umpty has something to say about it, as he moves towards the top side, there's going to be the special delivery. He's been tanking up this turret for such a long time. Grand entrance is what locks it down. And the TL flare pops up above Umpty as he walks his way out. It's another 20 CS advantage up against Gumayusi. APA going to get thrown underneath the turret here, but Umpty is there to protect him. Doesn't land the ulti though, and down goes the Ziggs. I don't think Umpty's going to die here, but CoreJJ finds himself on the wrong side of the map. Battle Dance gets himself out as Umpty comes on over and gives him a target to head towards. So it is just APA falling down, but it's T1 finding a bit more tempo here on this map.
Yeah, I think APA getting a little bit of greed there because he knew Umpty was nearby, but Faker flashing the Arctic Assault there. They have enough damage. And that's going to be the Dragon here going over to T1. It wasn't in the mid lane where he got punished on the Ziggs to this Emperor's Divide, but in fact in the sides. We're 1-1 apiece. Hextech Soul is the Dragon. An amazing Dragon for both teams. You can see the Ziggs poke, but also the Ezreal and the Jace here for T1.
Don't lip read that. It was a naughty word. But still, it was a decent attempt, right? Because APA gets caught at just the wrong time with the satchel charge. Could have almost been him just getting out scot-free. And that would have been a huge advantage for TL. Not exactly the end of the world, though, for the North American squad right now, as they do collect themselves. The
It's pretty safe here, Atlas.
Yeah,
you know,
it's such a weird position, though, Wolf, right? Like, it's just a lot of... This is something that we have seen from him in the past, but it seems to be ramping up here in this game.
There's that Herald drop I was talking about here.
Yeah.
Flank from Impact, but he's spotted.
Carrier going to be piloting this one as there's the grand entrance. They get the knock up onto the Leona, but not exactly a key target. As the bouncing bomb doing a lot of damage here to Ona, who is pretty squishy on this Maokai for now. Not going to be the end of the turret, but it is very close to going
happen here in mid lane, or this Dragon may be lost.
Well, Solar Flare is going to come on through, but it's Umpty. He's able to tank that one up very comfortably. Mega Inferno Bomb is massive, and Ona just gets taken down. The Nature's Grasp finds absolutely nothing.
Yeah, just used defensively there, but gets nothing back. Owner is dead, and that should be Team Liquid pushing ahead in terms of Dragon control here. They had the control, they had Prio, but they weren't happy with that. They wanted to pick, and they get it.
Gumayusi looking for an opportunity here. It's CoreJJ. He finds that the quickness was on, and Yon's going to take him down. Inner turret is going to be a prize as well, as Faker was on the inner turret, but Impact is there to get rid of him. Outer turret and Dragon, and 2 kills here for Team Liquid. They are on a tear.
They are on a tear indeed. Massive lead in this game now. Second Dragon goes to them. They get 2 kills mid. They get the turret with the satchel charge.
The range advantage that Gumayushi's going to have. But it's just the chaos that Team Liquid have been reveling in that's been working out. That one didn't quite so much, but it doesn't matter. Guma is just dead, and Zeus has to flash to get out of the way of the Mega Inferno Bomb. I don't know what that ultimate was trying to do, but I'm so scared of Umpty right now that I trust.
Turret sitting on 2 items and a needlessly large rod. CoreJJ is threatening a dive.
Well, the teleport's going to come out, so CoreJJ not going to be able to utilize the quickness there, and he's just dead. Emperor's Divide going to pick him up. And the unkillable Demon King himself is going to come over and say, stop with the funny business, guys. Dangerous. They're a little bit split. Still the 4 stack of T1. 4 versus 3 if T1 do decide to pull the trigger. As he over here, topside Mega Inferno Bomb going to help out, and Impact just puts down Zeus here. He says, I'm the better member of that team. As, of course, it's been a very long time since he was one, but still, with the help of APA, they're able to create a big advantage in their favor. T1 not wanting to allow that to happen, and Solar Flare isn't able to interrupt the Hex Gate escape, and it'll be another Drake.
They just don't see it coming. So, thanks for the ultimate, thanks for the Dragon, thanks for the kill on the top side. I'm winning in 3 places on the map as Team Liquid.
And he's still pushing forward. He finds that ulti as CoreJJ gets into the backline. Guma in so much trouble, but he's able to Arcane Shift to get himself out of dodge. He'll stay alive, but he's out of the fight for the moment. As now Carrier trying to deal with Bristle, ridden by Umpty here. As Faker gets into that mid lane, but they're unable to really find too much. So keeping everyone alive, and that is the main thing, is T1. They're looking to get control of the Baron area.
Yeah, they call the bluff. They're like, oh, you guys think you can trade for Baron? I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to allow it. And they're going to rush over here. Keria, you know, now down in ultimate, doesn't have flash here, but they are going to just try to rush it. Faker does so much damage to this Baron, but can they turn?
Yeah, full information now goes over to TL, and T1 are getting low. Mega Inferno Bomb connects onto 3. And that's with no setup as well as the extended beam comes on down. Faker looks for Yoni, finds the flash and gets the Zeri in the end, but Impact will be able to take down his ex-teammate. Gumayushi still trying to fire forward, and APA, he's basically an 80 carry himself, and he'll be able to take down the Ezreal. 3 members of T1 left standing. Zeus, the last big damage threat, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. He's just going to be backing in this brush. APA is going to face check. Oh, the satchel charge is going to save the Ziggs with basically nothing. Yeah, there's those 2 thumbs up that we were expecting. And Zeus comes in, and he is going to be falling down. Leap strike from Impact going to get that one done. And TL, I think they're going to win this game, Wolf.
I think they are. I mean, Zeus is bought enough time for some of these respawns to potentially come through with Hex Gates, but Faker, 20 seconds left, no teleport. APA gonna head straight back into the fray. Now has his Crypt Bloom online. He is just so huge again. And this is not just a Baron. This is a Baron to Hextech Soul play here for Team Liquid. T1 had to do their trademark Hail Mary Baron, but the red team they are in this game, but they're not gonna be able to get out of the region. Meanwhile, over here,
yeah, a little bit more of a fight as the Nature's Crops comes on down, but look at the AoE damage coming out of this Ziggs with 4 items. Extendo beam to finish off Owner, and even our observers were surprised by the damage that one did. Used to Maokai being a little bit more tanky than the damaged version that Owner is piloting this time around. And the Dragon's going to go down. That's Hextech Soul. Triple stack Hextech Dragon.
Hextech Soul, and now the base is open. Looks like game 1 upset complete. Team Liquid completely unlocked here at EWC.
And it's their drafting, it's the gameplay, it's just TL are just looking extraordinarily good. Here at EWC, they're going to be breaking down this top lane inhibitor turret right now. Counter-Strike comes through, and they just have all of the answers. These Ziggs compositions, just an absolute, like, it's a symphony to watch them play these ones out. It's a well-oiled machine that we're witnessing as they make the push towards these inhibitors now. There's another Glacial Prison. This one going to connect as Mega Inferno Bomb onto 3 once again. The quickness locks them down, and APA takes them out. It's a double kill, as immediately it's the tanks, it's the front line, and they are removed from this battle completely. The bouncing bombs impossible to avoid as they just keep raining down on top of T1. I say impossible to avoid. I mean, they can avoid them, but they're just not that well. And he has about a half a second cooldown on that ability at the same time. So the Sun Disc, it's going to be removed. 2 inhibitors down, waiting for some super minions to make their way in.
The
Team Liquid,
so
I think they might just win it here.
I think they will. They've got this cannon minion here, Baron empowered. Still 25 seconds left here. Looking to back away. Yun very low on HP. Just let the Zig Sendo Beam. It's just unreal. Is Keria maybe trying to bait something? I don't know where he's going.
He's going on Walkabout, Wolf, and he's going to get satcheled back into the entire enemy team, and he will buy some time before he inevitably falls. Yun's going to collect that kill as well. So another one for the Zeri. 5, 1, and 3. 4 items and a casual little critical strike cloak. And this, I mean, TL, they have every single card. It's 9,000 gold the lead, but it's the Hextech Soul that really is the icing on the cake.
I mean, I guess Keria bought some time on the wave. Usually when you see a jump out of replay like that, there's a reason, but doesn't end up accomplishing anything here. And now Faker getting chunked out.
Yeah, that's going to be Ono locked down. Does avoid the Mega Inferno Bomb nicely with a twisted advance. I like that.
Gumayushi with this true shot. As they're only going to leave 2 on Baron because Yun does so much damage while continuing to push these waves into the mid lane, stacking up super minions there. So there is just absolutely no way T1 can come to Elder. It's essentially League of Legends checkmate here right now with the composition of Team Liquid.
Yep, T1, I think the fight that has to happen on the Elder or on their Nexus. And they have elected for the Elder. I'll start that one up as it spawns. They have positional advantage. Banana Brush control, but Umpty just walks on in. Does not mind about this one whatsoever. They're all inside the pit. It is an absolute Thunderdome, but the Elder is taken by T1. Is this an opportunity? Impact says absolutely not as they're getting torn to shreds. Carrier sliced down by the Zeri. And Team Liquid, they'll wipe T1 off the map, and they'll be taking game 1 right now.
Not a chance in this game, start to finish. T1 don't get to play their proactive playstyle. They don't get to play the Leona into the Recon bottom 2v2. It was TL pulling the strings, the puppeteers of game one, start to finish. A beautiful game.
Or you just get rid of that fiery guy on the top side because the fire yordle is a crazy one. So T1 will get exactly what they want.
Now, as I expected, the Sejuani pick is going to come through here first for T1. Umpty had a fantastic game on it in our previous set, but this does leave open a lot of options here for Team Liquid. Rather than just opting into the Ziggs versus potentially the Tristana, they are going to go for the Corki pick, a little bit more standard here. This will mean that Faker will be able to respond with his own Tristana. And, you know, most of the time, I think a majority of us are leaning towards the Tristana being the stronger pick in this matchup. What jungle will be the answer is the question. They could pick up an AP jungler like the Zyra. That's still available here for Umpty. He loves the Lilia. Don't know if it really makes sense in this draft. Let's see what he's got in mind.
Yeah, quite a few things left up on the table. They could also pick Tristana and Corki.
Probably not, though.
Yeah, that'd be a crazy one.
They do play that Corki in the
cool
bot lane.
strats, exactly.
And I don't usually feel good about it.
Yeah, that's the Ezreal double Trinity Force. So this is like Power Spike City. I love it. Tristana obviously going to be locked away here by T1, but what else are they going to augment their composition with, Wolf? That's my question.
That's a real good question. Might just be the Zeri to come through here for Guma when we play that game again. Could also take the Leona away, but I think the Zeri is just too strong here, and that is what they're going to grab. See if the Leona comes through, or is it just going to be a Ziggs hover?
Yeah, Ziggs hover.
I think the Leona is the best option here. It's kind of a no-brainer up, though, because they banned the Mordekaiser instead. Feels like a pretty easy lock-in here if they want to hide Umpty's pick, but he could just lock that in now and save counter pick for whatever Zeus does, in fact, lock in. Probably the safer bet here. Zyra, I feel really strong in this draft here for TL, but they're not going to lock it in just yet. Going to swap over to the Cassante here. This one felt pretty obvious to me. We've seen Zeus play a lot of other ranged tops, like the Vayne, the Zeri into this pick.
There's a bunch of options that you can play alongside a Sejuani really comfortably as well, like a Camille we've seen rip into a Cassante relatively effectively.
And they're going to do it.
As, yeah, the Zeri top lane is just happening once again. So there is the Braum Caitlyn to come out from T1. We've already seen this from G2. Hansama looked decent on it, even though they lost that game number one. It is an oppressive lane. And Caitlyn, if you look up the stats for Gumayushi, they are pretty absurdly good.
Yes.
Carrier's Braum is something that we've been up and down upon, but we know that he can pilot this champion very, very well. And so now, face up is the T1 draft. I think triple AD carry once again. Brand, fantastic here. I don't really like the Lilia in this draft. I always think about Lilia when I think about an AP jungler R5 for Umpty, but it is going to be the Brand they lock in. Karthus, I think, is a little bit risky in this draft because there's so much explosive damage, so much 80 carry damage here for T1. Range, yeah.
And the range is a big problem. The engage range with the Sejuani too. So Brand feels a lot safer and a lot more consistent damage. Now, my concern for TL will be, what does level 1 look like? How do T1 set up these lanes? Do they decide to lane swap? Will we see the Zeri get a massive edge over the Cassante? Because Brand, Cassante versus Zeri Sejuani, yes, you don't have permafrost synergy there, but it can be a really finicky 2v2 there in the top side if not played correctly. Yes, you have a ton of damage output as the Brand, but if Zeus can whittle that health bar down before those...
On and get into it. Game number 2, do or die. Here for T1. TL take this one. They are going straight towards the final here at EWC. And otherwise, they're heading towards game number 3 once again. The first time that TL has lost here in this tournament if they do lose here. Otherwise, they could make a clean sweep all the way through as already CoreJJ in a bit of trouble, but Impact already ready and waiting. Carrier having to flash to get himself out of the way as Umpty moves on over. Let's see whether they can get any added damage down as the rocket jump going to get Faker out of dodge. And TL, yeah, they took a bit of damage, but they definitely answered back.
They certainly did. Flash down for Carrier on this play. CoreJJ did use his Ignite. The health trade definitely favoring TL at the end of things. Faker is going to have to take a complete back. Should be able to get back to lane without any issue. However, and it was a little bit of a level 1 Braum shenanigans. They learned from Barrel. You know, their last domestic match didn't go so well when the concussive blows came through. But this time, TL were ready for it. They also had Impact in position. He's ready for the lane swap that TL are actually going to set up here. See Zeus on the top side. Not going to be laning into a Cassante right away here.
given over here, as now APA and FAKER once again going aggressive. The explosive charge going to even out the trade nicely, as there's a flash to get away from the rocket jump. FAKER taking a lot of damage in return, but he has his flash available. APA not so lucky. The Yordle snap trap is going to break as CoreJJ in that brush, wanting to find an angle here as he clears out the ward. Gumayusi not going to bite though. And I think Umpty is going to complete this one. Doesn't want to waste too much time down here.
They're going to lose Grubs for this too, because he wanted to make this happen, but T1 just so smart, able to read the play. And because it's Caitlyn, he's not going to lose too much farm here as well out of that threat, because he has such long range to actually last at those minions. Zeus really putting the pressure on up here.
This is feeling a little bit more like what we were expecting out of this matchup. Zeus just relentlessly throwing burst fires towards the Cassante. And Umpty comes on over, is able to clear out this Grump camp, Crow camp pretty quickly, but doesn't see that Ona's moving on in. His top lane in a whole host of trouble. There's first blood going over to Zeus as the turret is going to be tanked here by Ona. Umpty wants to get a little bit of extra damage, but he doesn't have the spells, and it's a double kill for Zeus. They get one back as a consolation prize, but Wolf, are we signing the papers? What's happening?
I mean, I'm almost ready to at this point as FAKER.
Yeah, FAKER and APA just always fighting here in the mid lane. Down to half health, as is correct for Corki versus Tristana, as we have seen.
Yeah, and FAKER not quite able to put that pressure back on just yet. They know that owner was dead, so CoreJJ is also coming over here looking for a potential opportunity to collapse in. He does have flash. The wave is going to crash here, but the timing... Ooh, I was going to say the timing pretty good for FAKER to get out of here, but he doesn't have TP, so he's going to stick around. He may be in trouble now.
Yep, CoreJJ making his way over. There's the flash shield of Daybreak, but FAKER's going to buffer the buster shot so beautifully, and Ona is here as well. CoreJJ could be in trouble. No flash up and available, and he has a blast cone. We'll see whether that's going to be enough, but nope. That is going to be concussive blows coming through. Carrier even has the door to make sure they don't take damage from that true shot barrage. And Impact, possibly also collateral damage from this one. The extender beam comes in. The all out is going to pull Ona over. And maybe Impact now has an avenue for escape, and he does. He'll be able to utilize the blast cone, get back towards that top side, but wasting so much time here.
Yeah, he doesn't have
the passive proc on him, takes a fair bit of damage. But otherwise, we'll be able to make it out. Now, Zeus just getting to work on this top lane outer turret. 2 plates for the Zeri, who already has 2 kills under her belt. Oh, man. That little slingshot, I think, is going to become a cooler item very, very quickly. Wolf
about to get a little bit more electric here in the inventory. Now, Umpty will be able to get this first dragon here bottom side uncontested because of the really proactive play bottom side there by TL. I will say, you know, compared to the LCK, I think T1 and Gen.G are definitely our most proactive early game teams that will make these rotations happen. We'll look for aggressive plays more often than the rest of the crowd
here in the Kabir Arena.
Came from Dubai to watch the GOAT. We got people here from everywhere. As this is looking like Grubs 2, T1 here. Might be able to get the full 6 already. Umpty nearby.
I think TL needs to try and get at least one of these, but nope. That is going to be 5 taken here as Ona moves his way out. They'll accept the 5-for-1 trade as far as those Grubs are concerned. Is now Yun fighting against Gumayusi here towards the bottom side. Guma looks to be absolutely fine with that situation, especially with Carrier just off to the side. Yun needs to be so careful. Ona here towards the top side as well. Everyone on TL is in so much trouble. That was a decent dodge there as Yun not going to walk in to the Glacial Fissure. True Shot Barrage looking to be traded as APA moves towards the bottom side. Yun is so low, and APA, he's just going to explode. FAKER's in there, Carry's in there, and there is CoreJJ trying to Hex Splash his way to safety. I don't think even the Eclipse can save him from this one, though, as Gumayusi almost dies to minions, but he's able to move himself out of the way, and CoreJJ will, in fact, be all right.
Yeah, a bit of a miscalculation here for TL. CoreJJ staying mid there. FAKER able to make the play happen with the TP bottom side. Zeus going to take this top side turret and deny some additional farm. T1 winning everywhere on this play. And Guma down on the bottom side. He's not quite able to get the kill with his ult, but still enough damage.
Number 1 personally here is Yun. Going to get pushed away. Zeus comes in. Yun's like, I thought their AD carry was a Caitlyn. He's not. Oh, well, he is. But it's also a Zeri coming from the top side of the map, and CoreJJ once again finds himself underneath the turret with kind of nowhere to go. Winter's Bite is going to miss.
More kills, more plates.
Waiting for the minions, and I think this Leona is just going to go down. Solar Flare is a lot of extra value, and Zeus, he will die. 600 gold goes over to a Leona, but they'll lose their outer turret on this bottom side.
It's almost arguable that this is a big win for Zeus as well. No one else is going to be able to get that shutdown gold going to the Leona. Another plate. And T1 in full control right now. You can see Impact is pushing top side, is Shadow, but Yun's in trouble.
Dear. Yun is just going to get prisoned and destroyed. Able to give a good old thumbs up before that one, is now TL looking to try and counteract the play. Let's see whether Impact can find anything. The all-out does go down onto Ona, as the ultimate from Carrier is pretty good there as well to keep them at bay. Impact is getting lower and lower as Gumayushi is firing shot after shot into the back of this Cassante. APA moving over though. Let's see whether this Corgi is going to be enough
I think
to be the difference maker, and the answer is probably not yet. T1 just walk it off.
And T1, they know too. I mean, this is a bit of a, it's a tough call to make for Impact, because if he stays topside, he gets an additional plate. That work with the TP coming through, even with those low health bars there for T1. With the pushback though, looks like they'll be able to secure their second Drake of the game. We'll see what Soul it is, because it's going to take a big comeback in this one for TL if they're going to bring us to the 2-0 win, the upset completion. It's Infernal, so at least, extremely valuable Soul they've got a 2-dragon lead on, but I don't know if this is going to be the last dragon they take in this game or not. I'm kind of leaning that way, because there's just no map control whatsoever. Another turret down, and T1 just feels like they could do no wrong with this lead.
Certainly feeling like we're getting angry T1. I feel like we got angry G2 yesterday after dropping the first game to FlyQuest. Angry T1 are certainly out here in game number 2, and this is immaculate gameplay. This is what we were expecting from the world champions.
In game one,
I mean, what we're expecting in a grand scale, but they did just lose to KT, so there needs to be some caveats. But after taking down BLG, it's definitely good.
No, true. I mean, in game one, it was TL game to play their game, their play style, their game plan. T1 had to react. This time it's T1 playing their game plan.
The amount of damage that he does have available. Ono looking for impact, and we'll be able to find the Winter's Wrath. Yun moving up as well, and the Brand is still lurking. Now going to be following these minions forward. Can this flank angle actually work out, as Yun has to get himself out of the way? Teleport to come in from APA, as well as Zeus going to get slowed down, and he will pop like a balloon. And that's good talking about there, Wolf, because that could have been a much larger shutdown if it hadn't already gone over to core.
True, but it's still a big kill here onto the Zerius.
Oh, okay, Faker. He's going to dive into 3 people. Not sure about that one. He flashes away immediately. Maybe just didn't quite know where everyone was, because there's a Rift Herald destroying the inner turret in mid lane, and TL seem unconcerned about that particular eventuation. It's going to be Umpty going down, though, and T1 are winning on this side as well. Core JJ takes down Ona, but T1 are still on the offensive. TL get towards the inner turret. Not going to be any more deaths for now.
And they have to push in mid. Guma can crush that turret so quickly, so buying time, keeping TL locked in to the top lane. They get mid turret. They're going to get this bottom inner.
Yeah, trying to protect the minions here as they look to try and take down the turret. They will be able to do so as APA has to flash away Impact. Looking to make his way in though. Core is there as well. And Zeus, it turns into a 1v2. He flashes forward. APA will go down, but it'll be a trade as the Zenith Blade max range will help lock down Gumayushi. TL, they ain't going down without a fight, but it's still not looking too great for the North American squad, down 9,000 gold.
Yeah, there's just no critical kills onto the carries here. 6 kills. And so, yes, you got some shutdown gold. Yes, you got some kills back, and it's not just TL going quietly into that good night. But at the end of the day, this Tristana with 5 grubs, we told her maybe you could see a world.
Impact might be able to find an opportunity here as the Glacial Fissure comes down. Doesn't really do too much there as it's eaten by Impact. And now Core JJ taking a lot of damage. Faker could be in trouble though. The big one, just barely is going to miss as Carrier. He'll have the door back and he'll be able to protect the go to the mid lane. In the meantime, Oner's looking to 1v1 Yun, who does have the cleanse available for the Glacial Prison. But the fact that Oner can kind of walk in front of 3 people and not care while an inhibitor is being taken on the bottom side of the map just shows how far T1 are in the lead.
Yeah, and we talk about Zeri's ability to kill turrets sometimes when you end up getting a kill in the mid lane and it's like, okay, AD carry is going to maybe get some extra plate gold if it's that early going mid, or okay, maybe going to grab an early turret because you can hurt turrets really well. And the side lane, as a top laner, can do a lot. Now, this is a Hail Mary call here. They have control vision on this Baron. They've swept it. I don't know if they have enough damage, though, and Carrier spots this out. Faker nearby. They're in trouble.
Yeah, now Core JJ actually going to get tagged by the Winters. By the Ignite comes in, and Faker, he does have the rocket jump. He kind of learned from what happened last time around, though. Doesn't want to dive in on top of 3 people. And T1, they do exactly what they want, right? They get them off the Baron, stop that.
Actually complete the Baron, but we'll just put Guma in mid and continue to push. Yun's used his E, and now we're set up for a potential vision clear and started up again. Look at the Galen traps now.
All of the traps just going to be lining the choke as teleport actually going to be invested here from Zeus. So T1, they want to lock down this Baron now. Looks like TL should be able to get themselves in here though, so at least it could be an opportunity. Flash available for Umpty to get into the pit. Let's see whether the General can be the hero. He flashes through, but he's unable to lock it down, and now T1 are going to get their team fight. Already the brand is being taken out. CoreJJ so low, but there's the all out from Impact, and Yon over to the side. Zeus, the last man standing really here as far as the damage is concerned. That was obscene from TL.
They don't want to deal with Impact as a frontliner.
This is somewhat dangerous, though. You can see Impact is rotating over, and there is a Zenith plate to connect this one. Pillar of Flame not really landing, and that is a true shot barrage straight into a door. And FAKER wanting to take down this inhibitor. Oh my goodness, okay, Zeus, I'm not sure about that one, but he takes down the brand, and there goes another one as well. They get the shutdown, but is it going to be worth it as Impact is a brick wall, and he's going to be able to take another one. Yun chasing after FAKER. He is rocket jumping and blast coning, and will be able to get himself out, but again, it's TL winning the fight.
Yeah, let's see if Yun can catch FAKER here. Huge front line. Randuin's is done. He's got Warden's Mail as well. He's so incredibly tanky. I think T1 still massively in the lead, of course, and looking to get their second Infernal, but maybe need to play a little bit respectfully in the next engage.
I would agree. I think TL are also going to get a little bit more scary as this game goes on, right? Because we haven't really spoken about the damage profile because the game kind of went completely out the window very early on. So items weren't necessarily irrelevant. The Arcane Shift to get himself out of the way, and now Zeus, we're going to chase after Impact. Umpty going to be the one corner though, and Zeus takes him out. Oh, the brand is a big part of the damage profile here for TL, and now CoreJJ, the next one that's going to be taken out. They're falling like dominoes, just one after the other. And right as I was talking about it, the window's back in here for TL. T1 are going to kind of slam the door shut on their fingers as this inhibitor turret is going to fall down. The second inhibitor going to go as well. And T1, they might have been thinking about it as well. They're like, well, let's just not let them build those cool armor items. Let's just end the game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to end here unless they get another pick. Umpty coming up in 12 seconds. CoreJJ up in 10. They should be able to grab that final inhibitor. So that in itself is practically as good as the final nail in the...
Able to ignore what Umpty's doing at this point in time as the Baron getting taken down so incredibly quickly. There's a lot of 80 carries in this game, and they do a lot of DPS. As Umpty looking to move in once again. He does have Flash one more time as well. And T1, yeah, they know that this is not the fight they really want to take, and they don't have to because there are super minions that will win the game.
The Winions are doing their job, and this is putting TL between, as we like to say in the LC game, between a rock and a hard place. You're going to have to defend your base, but you got to stop this Baron. You can't do both.
Yep. And it's a very precious rock and a purple place in this game, Wolf. That's where they find themselves. And T1, they kind of want to win a fight. Is Carrier going to go down first? There is the passive being procced, but look at this. I mean, Zeus is just in there. Impact goes all out, but he will be dead. Or out of there. Yeah, there he goes. Explodes in a fiery explosion of cinders. That is going to be the second Nexus of the series going down, but it's one apiece after game number 2.
And you know what? We got to see TL play their game in game 1. The Ziggs, and they will actually adapt and ban the Ziggs. Respect shown here for APA.
But I think it's a trap because TL then just gets Tristana for free. It's a dangerous one. A gambit here taken from T1. Still not fully making up their mind just yet on the TL side. But I think this Tristana is a pretty confident lock-in. And I'm very intrigued as to what FAKER has as the response to the Trist.
Something like an Azir here might just be the way FAKER goes. You know, these are the two main AD mids that we have. The Corki, the Tristana, no longer available. We've seen Yone, but it's really tough to play. It's tough to play the Tristana here. And it could be one of those games where we just see T1 go back to comfort. Now, the Ashe is also still available, even without the Sejuani, without the Rumble. A very strong pick here. They don't have to lock in jungle just yet because there's a pretty good chance they're not going to be looking for a strong AP jungle on their side. See what they grab with this. I think we will see FAKER's mid pick in this slot. The question is, what is it going to be? The Azir, the standout one for me.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Just a bit of a standard one here, and of course, APA can buffer the rocket jump to get out of Emperor's Divides and things like that. We've seen Tristana into Azir many, many times. Oh, we'll see. Oh, this is an adaptation, and I think mid lane Talia has been nerfed on this patch, right? But it was mainly the jungle variety, and FAKER has certainly put in a whole bunch of hours on this particular pickup. So a different flavor of Shuriman mid laner.
Yeah.
As now Umpty back to definitely one of his most played. Of course, he played 2 champions back in the LCS, and this is one of them.
Yep, the Sejuani game in Game 1 looked pretty good. That was the other pick that he did play in the LCS. This will be the second. Picking the Talia early here is pretty interesting, considering they could have gone for a Vi pick in this slot as well if they wanted to play that duo. There's a lot of different options here being considered for APA. I think flexing that Tristana bottom is a risky call. Don't think this is really the angle TL are looking for. Maybe perhaps just reminding everyone how good he is at the champion. But he is going to lock it. Oh, no, he's not. That was just trolled by production.
Yeah, he's gonna lock in the Zeri instead. Just making sure he messes with us as much as possible. Staying on brand is APA in the mid lane. Not on brand, though, is Umpty. He's going to be playing Maokai this game.
Vi stock's way up. You have the Talia already. Zeri can get locked down by Vi. Now, you are playing into a Maokai, which can be kind of tricky for Vi. But I think your ability to lock down the Tristana, lock down the Zeri, it makes
not going to be taken away from Zeus. He hasn't been allowed to play that one all series long. Still does have the Cassante to go back towards if you would like to. But I'm just feeling like we might be in for a last pick Varus.
Yep, that's what I was...
Like, I'm just feeling
You and I are on the same page. We cast this team so often. We know how they like to play these types of drafts, and that was exactly the same thought that was going through my mind. You ban the Gnar, they pick the Cassante. Now, they do have this Gragas in response here, which has been quite strong. Either the Twisted Fate or the Gragas, both are great picks into the Cassante in the top lane. Good for your damage profile if you do end up opting for the Gragas. It's like they're going to lock in.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
I haven't been happy with the Udyr, personally. We haven't seen it do good things and have happy times on Summoner's Rift, Wolf.
Yeah, the Bard pick here is going to be pretty good. I'm a lot more of a fan of this one for Core JJ in the bottom lane and the ability to potentially control the Ashe matchup. This is one that does help out quite a bit, but it's going to get a little bit tricky if it's going to be, for example, a Varus or Kalista pick. Classic T1 bottom duo with Ashe. So many different combinations they can go for. A lot of discussion about this one. They end up opting to the Rakan. I liked the Bard more for what the lane is going to do, but with how well Core JJ played Rakan in Game 1, they played it like a pick comp. They have the setup to blow people up with this Tristana. I'm not going to hate this one. We doubted it last time. We saw some lane swaps, but it worked incredibly well. Let's see what the game plan is going to be here for T1. Sivir Ashe is another pick duo that they played before, actually, and they're going to do it again.
So it was the right idea that we were having, of course, with Carrier playing the Ashe in the support role. We know him as probably the best Ashe support in the world and was for a very long time. It was a little bit sad that it was Beryl that got the Ashe skin in the end, but you can't have everything. I mean, still, this is absolutely terrifying and should have a lot of control on that bottom side if it is going to be standard lane.
They had so many different things they could have played with this Ashe. This is why Ashe is basically permabanned domestically in the LCK, because it could have been Ashe Varus, Ashe Kalista, Ashe Sivir, and there's so many different ways you could just crush this bottom lane, and it's so hard to play around. Consider also the
Everyone in the Gideon arena is also ready to dive into this one as everyone's spawning in. I'm looking forward to seeing whether things are going to work out for TL like they did in game number 1, or whether T1 have just locked in and we're just going to have them sailing towards the final.
It has certainly been 2 very one-sided games leading up until this point, and this draft, we do give a huge edge to T1 based on the ways they can shut down this area, how comfortable they are with this composition. Obviously, we have 2 LCK casters sitting on the casting booth, so, you know, there's a little bit of feeling like I know what T1 can do with this more than I trust TL with this composition. Impact going to try to be a little bit annoying here at level 1. Now, I don't hate the Udyr, but I do think it is pretty binary. And the ways in which Impact can make an impact, no pun intended, on this game are going to be reliant on a lot of map control, reliant on his ability to flank, whether he has a lead in his lane, if Umpty can get some ganks for him, maybe he can put the pressure on this Cassante. Otherwise, he's just going to be a relatively weak front line that double 80 carry bot lane is going to rip through. And he's not going to be that slippery into a Vi either.
Oh, got a bit of a late invade here for T1. I think understanding that there was a very high likelihood that once again Team Liquid are going to go for a bit of a lane swap.
Is very good at wave clear. That's one of the good reasons to pick the Deer in this situation, because his wave clear in a lane swap is pretty fantastic. As meanwhile up here, Zeus in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Umpty's already rotated up. There's the Bramble Smash as he flashes away, and that is first blood. Clean dive from TL.
Huge win for them. They should be able to grab some plate gold here, as Zeus is going to teleport back to the lane, but not in time, and they may just go for it again.
Yeah, round 2. That's going to be CoreJJ taking out the turret this time, and Zeus straight out of the death chamber, straight back in, and the juggle is beautiful.
Thanks for plus 300, and I'm almost ready to certify this one as well. Plate going to go down here a little bit awkwardly timed, unfortunately, for those recalls, but man, he didn't learn from Bin, did he?
Fortunately, going to find out that there's a whole bunch of bad guys there. Yon having to dash without being able to go through a wall, and there is a cleanse, but it doesn't quite work out. Phenomenal spell shield here from Gumayushi, as they're looking for even more, as T1 answer back on the bottom side, and Yon gonna miss out on this full wave.
He's close to 7. Zeus is sitting at like 1/3 of 5, so yeah, he is really far behind. And this Udyr pick, we talked about how it can, from behind, really have a lot of problems, but with this lane swap and the wave clear and how well he dealt with Guma's push bottom side, now the advantages he's picked up because he's been able to get so much farm, he's really getting value out of it.
He certainly is. And we haven't even looked at the mid lane whatsoever, so this Vi Talia, you know, that we've seen have so much power, it's not even relevant yet. As the grubs go down, that is going to be Umpty securing all 3 of them, as APA dives in on top of FAKER. Seismic shove going to remove him, but still the trade is going to be okay for the Tristana. But with that big rock landing, never mind. It's actually just colossally not great. Still, only going to be able to secure the first dragon of the game. That's going to go over to T1. And TL still retaining a slight advantage as far as gold is concerned, and I think they're going to be pretty happy with how this one's going. Impact behind turrets, and this is the kind of Udyr that we're happy to see, right?
You start getting that lead, and you just keep pushing the issue, making it very awkward here for Zeus. And once Umpty hits level 6, you know, you won't be necessarily safe. As you can see, Impact is just happy to even tank this turret here and try to play some games with Zeus. Come over here now with some grubs. They pick those up on the top side as well. Going to allow him to get more gold here in terms of this extra plate. Now, bottom side, though, could be in shambles here a little bit. Owner, experience lead here, has level 6. I do not think this is a fight TL should take over. Could just walk it out, but is going to commit the TP as shown here in picture-in-picture. Man, this is a really awkward moment for TL because you know Zeus can't show up to the fight. Impact has teleport, so maybe you want to heavily commit to this objective, but at the same time, it's Vi, Talia, Weaver's Wall at the ready. You're going to be so cautious about how you're going to approach trying to set up a fight here on the top side of the map. And I think just backing away is a better game plan. 5 seconds till those grubs spawn.
Yeah, control of the river is here for TL. At this point in time, I like this Tribrush ward that T1 does have. The control that they can pick up there as Umpty sees that ward going over. We'll be able to get it down there as okay. There's a grand entrance. Owner going to be the target as cease and desist comes in, but I don't think they're listening to him. Yon's going to take him out. The grub's getting involved as Gumayushi. He does have on the hunt running, but APA's diving in. He finds the buster shot, sends the Sivir packing, and that's a double kill for the Zeri. TL back on top.
TL back on top. Great ultimate there from Umpty, and also the setup from CoreJJ forces the flash out of carry.
TL. And now they're set up to try and do battle for this second dragon. Infernal on the Rift once again. Not going to be the Soul this time. Might be Ocean, might be Chemtech. That wouldn't be great. Hopefully Ox, who's setting up to be on in the area for our second series. Hopefully he's paying attention right now so that we don't get that Chemtech Soul. As APA trying to take down this top outer in picture-in-picture while we're doing this. TL kind of getting the better of every situation right now. As Extendo Beam comes in, Gumayushi not getting a lot of value out of the spell shield. And CoreJJ lying in wait.
T1 just got to give this up.
Yeah, they have to.
Not in a position to Weaver's Wall in and cut this team in half. This is a Zeus at level 9, just sitting under turret against a 6 Void Grub APA, who is just pushing down this turret. Zeus going to eat a bunch of damage. We'll try to clear the wave. This turret is gone.
Yeah. He's just going to be able to get a few more autos into it. A little bugs
maybe
come
not
out,
quite.
and it's just, he's going to require one more wave. Skin is going to be employed for this one. Faker wants to try and protect this, but the minion wave has made it to the turret. Seismic Shove is decent, as APA is going to get pushed away. And now Ona, he's going to move on up. So he gets into the brush. Let's see what APA can actually get done here. As there's the buster shot. Cease and desist comes down. Faker still going to throw out some rocks here, and APA just being a bit frustrating, buying some time. Once the minion wave is going to get a bit of it before he's punched to death by the Vi.
Faker, they also now have complete topside control. So yes, a plate went over in those final seconds there before they fell off, but TL are going to be able to get this Herald, which will then lead into potentially Dragon control here in 3 minutes. And the biggest and scariest problem for T1 is this Tristana. To me, given all the grubs they've stacked up, how great she's going to be in the side lane, and frankly, how well APA has been playing this tournament. As Impact's got a lot of wave clear here, there's a lot of T1 members.
Ooh, Faker is, it's a bit of a question mark. Just gets hit by a bunch of damage. Yun's still just up there in the 1v1, as we can see, and the Rift Herald is going to come down. APA dealing with the minion wave. Shelly going to go for a charge.
For JJ on the flank.
Yeah, and Nature's Grasp is going to come out. Core JJ, is the quickness actually going to be invested? Grand Entrance going to come in as the charm is down onto Owner, and they clear out the minion wave. T1 do not lose this turret for now, as Yun gets himself over the wall. A little bit scary, was almost within cease and desist range, but Owner not going to go for that very long journey towards the Baron Pit. Carries feeling pretty happy, sitting on their core items for the moment. And this turret, maybe not long for the world, as APA, he's just going to teleport in to try and help take down Zeus. He was tanking up the turret, but Zeus is very, very dead, guys. That is a 0-3 Cassante, and the turret falls as well. And this is another way to create a lot of control of the bottom side of the map prior to a Dragon.
It's just so surgical, the macro from TL. They find a weak point, they abuse it.
The sidestep's good too, as Ona moves on in. Impact gonna almost avoids the seismic shove. Cease and desist with the help of the turret. He's going to come through, and he is not that tanky. Ona in the same position though as the explosive charge goes off. Another seismic shove from Faker, but it's a 1-for-1 in the end. The inner turret was under fire, and look at that, it's almost dead. I mean,
Just the quick nature of how TL are moving around the map, seeing, okay, we tried to push the Herald mid, get a pick, doesn't work. We're going bottom lane, we're getting a pick, we're getting a turret. Oh, you guys are a little bit late on the defense? We're gonna get 3/4 of this turret, and we'll even take a 1-for-1 trade there in the end. Now, Dragon should be going to T1. They're actually gonna reset as well, not gonna actually go to start that one up. They don't feel like they have the damage, so maybe I'm gonna eat my words on that one, as TL actually coming over here faster, so they get most of the turret, trade 1-for-1, get Zeus, get a bottom outer, and now they're going to get their second Dragon of the game. Cross map here, Impact, let's see if he can clear this wave.
Yeah, and he's very tanky. It's not going to be the Leandri's build, as the arrow is going to connect here onto the Udyr as well, with the turret to fend off at the same time, even though that stun from the arrow lasted about 400 years. Impact is still able to just soak it up, unless... Okay, Weaver's Wall comes through. Impact is very fast. Cease and desist comes in. There's the flick. And there goes the Udyr. They had to invest a fair bit.
They're losing a lot.
Yeah, in a turret in trade for an Udyr, I guess you'll take that. As Zeus is also going to go down. The Unstoppable does come in. Umpty, he's going to be CC'd up, but he's so tanky. It does not matter. And it was even APA tanking the turret. Are they going to take even more?
I think
Carrier
so.
comes on over. He can't defend it.
This blue side first pick Tristana is getting mad value in this game, Atlas. Mid turret's down as well. TL just out macroing T1 with this draft once again. Now Faker will be able to at least get the majority of this turret. Indecisive on the recall, will pick up the gold here in the end, decides not to go back, but the damage has been done to the base.
Want that money. TL now moving up here towards his top side. Ona on a decent flank angle. APA might get caught out. Let's see. Oh, actually still in that fog of war. It's Umpty that's going to go for the face check. And he can, because he is a big tanky tree. He's flashing. There are 4 members of T1 up here, Umpty. I don't know whether this is really what you wanted. He'll be taken down. Gumayushi grabs that kill. And now the teleport's in from Zeus at the same time. They want even more off the back end of this one. Still, APA does massive amounts of damage. The all-out comes in, and the ulti's there from Yun as well. Let's see whether they can actually answer as the extender beam splits up the fight. Great flash from APA as Ona tries to get that Vault Breaker through. He doesn't have cease and desist, but here's the Weaver's Wall. It's split off the fight completely, and APA, he'd have to invest the rocket jump if he wants to get on over. Both of the tanky members from TL were eviscerated, and now T1 have so much momentum.
Oh man, you could take Umpty out of Pro, but you can't take the Pro out of Umpty. The T1 fans are calling him a gig.
And so now TL moving towards this Baron pit once again, and I think that we shouldn't be fooled. They are still very, very strong in this game, and they are starting off this Baron.
He could just lock them out with his ultimate as well. They don't have a lot of vision though. Faker's gonna TP in.
Yeah, they do get the teleport, so TL already a bit up in this particular situation. Are they going to flip it though is the question. A cease and assist, and he manages to take the Baron and flashes out and says thanks for the leash.
Yeah, this was a really rough call here for TL with no real vision control. I think they just said, I think we get away with it. Against T1, you usually don't. Game has made some big plays when we go to the team fights, but hasn't actually been able to do all too much. Might make a play now.
Impact almost able to get to the other side of the wall, and then realizes that there are a whole lot of bad guys moving down towards the bottom lane.
But top side.
Yeah, it is going to be an inner turret in trade, and I don't think APA is going to waste very much time taking this one down. Zeus also maybe caught out of position, but no. Very hard to chain CC a Cassante.
This feels really good for TL. I mean, this is during Baron that they're trading turrets like this, and yes, T1 will even up the Dragons as a result of this, but Arrow gonna sail wide, and this is during T1's Baron buff. They get a turret. It's going to take Faker a lot of time to get over to this one that's full health, so there's just not going to be a turret in exchange here for T1. So once again, that weak side Udyr putting in work, buying time for this 6 grub Tristana to wreck another turret.
And T1, they will even out the Dragons. That's what they were able to claim for it, and also claim back a whole bunch of control. Seeing here with the last few seconds of the Baron, they want to try and take down this outer turret. It is going to be Impact teleporting in to defend it. That will be successful. So empowered recalls to get that quick reset. And then back onto
so TL need to be super respectful. This is still a Vi composition.
Yeah, Umpty could once again be in trouble. Seismic Shove almost pushes him back over the wall. And there's no response because the wall cuts off the rest of TL. Umpty, we've seen this before, but he got caught out a bit earlier on, and now it's once again finds himself in the death chamber.
Yeah, this is T1 really starting to get back in the driver's seat. They got the Baron, the triage you mentioned is a great way to put it, but TL moving a bit too far into the jungle there without controlled vision, trying to take it away, but punished by Faker. Now has death cap. Owner did not ult, by the way, and he's getting ready.
Yeah, great buffer there from APA this time around. Avoids the seismic shove. He's got his eye in for that one. Is now T1 looking for another inner turret. They don't need a Baron to lock this one down. They've just got so many members, and they will be able to secure it. Core JJ wanted to find the opportune time to get in. T1 not really giving it. They need to get themselves together as the Weaver's Wall comes on down. There's a huge pushback from Zeus, who's in amongst 4 people right now. Gumayushi, the only one there to back him up, and they want to take him down, but they're not going to be able to do so. Cease and Assist comes in on top of Core JJ, and then it's Owner that's out once again. APA torn apart, and T1! That was absolutely gorgeous. The flash forward from Faker to finish the job, and it's just Impact that's left alive. I think T1 are kind of done with this game.
I think they're done with it. They want to push down this inhibitor and end the game. So close to escaping was APA there, almost over the wall. Owner with a heroic plays there in those final moments. Impact, last man standing, picks up a Zonia's here. Let's see what he can do.
Well, he does go golden, but that's not going to apply to his turrets, unfortunately, so they will be taken down. Core JJ is going to respawn. It's not going to be his day, though, today, as T1 will move to the finals here at EWC, and they will keep their key alive. Unfortunately for TL, they're going to have to watch theirs bend.
T1 coming back in